As you know, the session is called the Automation Challenge Continues. And I'm Dick Hill, by the way. I work for ARC. I've been with ARC now too long to remember. But anyway, it's been a while. But last year we had the first time we did this session, and it seemed to be quite popular from the standpoint of it gives an opportunity for us, all of us, to talk about the challenges that are associated with this great world of automation that we're all associated with. One of the things I really like about ARC, and particularly about this forum, is that everybody's here dealing with automation in one regard or another. It's a very important part of our lives. And we'd all like to see it better. And we all would like to be able to meet the challenges as they come. So I will start the session off. I have a few slides, a few remarks to make. First off, what are causing the challenges? Well, first of all, there's a lot of business behind the challenges, and automation is an important part of it, but it's not the only tool in the businessman's toolbox. But it is very important. So the business challenges are driving the overall challenges. Things like maintaining uptime, things like asset reliability and aging asset, things like variable costs, reducing those variable costs. And I heard a gentleman say, last year was a good year for a company, but because you made all your objectives have gotten even more stringent this year. This is kind of the theme of business, right? So, and we talked about the workforce. How does automation relate to the workforce? Well, it has a great deal to do with it. We need very talented people to keep these facilities running 24/7, 365 in many cases. And the baby boomers are leaving, and the new folks are coming in to hopefully fill their shoes, which I have no doubt they can. But all of these things have to work together. They have to work together in a synchronized and collaborative way. People, technologies, and processes all have to work together. And so the business challenges have increased. They haven't got easier. We talked about, this morning, the gentleman from Dow talked about how just a few years ago there was a multitude of chemical companies. Now it's reduced. And so what's happened to all these chemical companies? Well, they've got consolidated, they've joined other companies, and so the supply chain has gotten extremely complex. And guess what? When you acquire a chemical facility from another plant, another company, it has different automation in it than you have in your plant. So all these things add to the complexity. Automation has come a long way. Since I've been in the business, I've seen some dramatic changes over the years. And even though it seems like if you're looking for something, it seems to take forever for it to come out, the fact of the matter is we've moved from a mentality of hardware, software, to integrated systems. We are there. We're talking about integrated systems all the time now. We've moved from a world where as an automation professional, you think about algorithms and blocks and way you configure control, to something more associated with applications. Applications is really what you're thinking about. How do I solve problems? And you've moved away from the loop and logic mentality to information and integrating that information. And so overall, the trend is away from technology as the center of focus to business as the center of focus. So if you're not thinking about improving your business and you're thinking about improving your technology, you've got the wrong point of view. And also, our automation suppliers have come a long way from being technology suppliers only to now a partner. Many of the companies today look at their automation suppliers as their partner in business. And that's a good thing. So the automation itself still has lots and lots and lots of pieces. And so there's things from process visualization. Now there's many more ways to visualize the process than simply a workstation or an indicator. There's all kinds of control. There's logic control, and there's motion control, and there's process control. And all these things in some facilities have to integrate and work with each other. So you have networks. So networks is the solution to that. But there's this other little thing called security and safety and all those kind of things that make people stay up at night. So somehow all these things have to fit together. And when they do, it's a beautiful thing. But there's a lot of work that's required to get those pieces together the way you want them to run your facility 24/7 without fail. So there's a lot of effort associated with that. And this is the crux of what we talked about last year in terms of the challenge, is putting that all together is a major effort. And maintaining it through the life cycle is a lot of effort. So we look at the automation asset as a life cycle, and the traditional linear view is wrong. This is not the way to look at it. Sure, there is a beginning and there's an end, but a lot of things are different in the middle. So take, for example, projects. How do you get started in the first place? Well, in that design and build phase, there's a lot of planning that occurs. There's a lot of activity that should occur in parallel today. They don't have to occur sequentially. And even to the point where hardware that you finally commit to buy and to put in place, that can be deferred, and there's some cost advantages to doing that. So that's a shift that's going on right now in terms of using virtualization, using all the benefits of simulation to make that final decision as to when I'm going to put what I really want to do in hardware and software. I can wait a little bit. Now, on the operation and maintain side, thinking about it as only operate and maintain is also the wrong way to look at it. You have to look at it's operate, maintain, and improve. It's a cycle that's going on all the time. And the folks that you have in your plant, they're there hopefully to do more than just maintain what you have. They're there to improve and get those little extra dollars that your management's looking for out of the plant. It's not a small task. And then, of course, retire is not end of life is not something that we're concerned about at this point. So we've heard a lot about the Internet of Things, and particularly the key word that we use is industrial Internet of Things. And I think everybody's certainly heard the great ideas here. This is great. These things are now becoming intelligent. They have ability to understand what's going on in their little world, and they're able to transmit through the internet to some other source. And this is great. Is it going to change the way plant control systems happen? And the answer is yes, but you still have to use that risk assessment. You still have to look at, am I doing the right thing at the right time? Is the technology ready for me to do what I need to do? The reality is it's moving. And so we have lots of examples of how plant systems are being connected to the virtual world through private clouds and into the business systems. This is necessary. We just have to do it with a great deal of concern about security and risk management. So without going into too much detail, there was a question earlier about what did you wish you had done 10 years ago? Well, I wish I would have bought some Amazon stock. But anyway, it's going to be a long time before we get to the situation where you can just punch into Amazon, I want my fully configured, pre-wired, totally integrated, backward and forward compatible automation system, and I want it to ship in 2 weeks. That's going to take a little bit of time. But, someday maybe something like this will happen. But in the meantime, we've got a lot of challenges as an industry to deal with in terms of doing the right things. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the first of our two speakers, and then we'll have 3 additional people join us for a panel discussion. So, to begin with, I'd like to introduce Haresh Malkani He's the manager of fabrication technology at Alcoa. And so please join me in welcoming Haresh to the podium.